I sat motionless in the passenger seat, feeling trapped in my tight seat belt while Mom sang along, pointing at everything she spotted on the road. Crowd for 50 kilometers. There it is, baby. That's the town we're headed to. I sulked, folding my arms. Oh, Mary, please don't be moody. Not today. I told Harry all about how polite and intelligent you are. Harry was my mother's new boyfriend. She met him at a business meeting when her company bought the company Harry worked. Since then, she's been driving over the border to Canada every weekend to see him, leaving me at that. Don't get me wrong, I love staying with Dad, but I miss my mom weekend.
My mother was much happier and more radiant when she came to pick me up. She told me about her boyfriend, Harry, about her and the possible wedding. I sarcastically promised I will be sugar in space and everything nice. The Canadian landscape with many mountains and it was how I imagined her, bigger and empty. I compared him with my dad. Mom was excited and enticed when we arrived at a two-story house with a large porch.
Not yet, my mother replied. I got out of the car and stood by it for a second. Come on, Mary, Mom said, motioning me forward. I went onto the porch and shook Harry's hand, not waiting to admit to myself that he sort of had a nice smile. Nice to finally meet you, Mary, he said. Are you ready for the surprise? I waited for a moment, not reacting until I could figure out what was going on.
Emily, he called into the house. No one had told me about meeting anyone else. I looked to my mom, who smiled nervously. I thought maybe Emily was a new puppy Harry had bought to make me like him. But then a girl stepped from behind the door, and there was a tense moment when we all stood still, Mom and Harry waiting, while Emily stood with both arms behind her back, holding one elbow with the opposite hand. Harry hoped she would be nice and get along so the two of them could continue being happy together. Emily and I were in the same boat. There was no reason for us not to be friends. I smiled at her, and when she looked up, she smiled back. Want to come up and see my room? She asked, releasing her hands from behind her back. Sure, I said. Emily smiled again, taking my hand and leading me inside the house.